Did you get the Duracell battery? What's the matter, battery?
What's up? It's time. Welcome to another edition of Comic Book Business News. It is I, Josh Goldstein, here in the news on 11/25/2024. Happy Hanukkah to all our Jewish viewers. And Hanukkah is a really cool thing. I have a comic book where she, Maccabee Lady, is my great comic book. Maccabee Lady. And what the Hanukkah holiday is the Festival of Lights, when it's a more historical holiday, like the Pesach is about, Passover is about, the liberation of the Jews from bondage by Pharaoh. Moses miraculously frees them from bondage, and God tells him, gives him the power to convince Pharaoh, and the 10 plagues and the parting of the Red Sea. Although you can prove it possibly, due to the dating the age of the Exodus to 1201, with the oldest part to 1209 BCE, using radiocarbon, looking at the literature, and which song was written first, was which parts. Like in other examples, Kings and Chronicles, probably historical, stories of David, Solomon, the divided kingdoms period. The story of the Maccabees is definitely real, because the Maccabees was during the time of the Hellenistic period, what the Ptolemies and the Seleucids and all Rome was beginning to be a power. It was beginning to be a power in the region, but not quite there yet. And Tom, our background was the Seleucid Empire, which ruled pretty much most of the former Achaemenid Persia, empire, which was basically, and was they had this very oppressive king of the Seleucids, named the Antiochus IV Epiphanes. And Antiochus IV Epiphanes was such a nut. His name meant God manifest. So because you think he a god, he a nut. and like so so and he is the villain of the Hanukkah story. He was the oppressive king who it was almost like a Nazi like oppression where the occupation of Judea was very like the pogrom, like he would convert try to convert people to the Greek religion by force, bribing temple priests, to try to make it more, the temple in Jerusalem more of Zeus, Greek Hellenistic per se esque. So the statue of Zeus, there's a statue. Sometimes the Greeks and the Romans would preserve went into areas they conquered, would preserve the local culture, but Grecoize it to preserve the culture yet make it more Greek friendly, Hellenistic friendly. So Yahweh fused with Zeus become Zeus Yahweh. And a statue of Yahweh Hellenisticized as Zeus, king of the gods, sat in the temple and sacrilege and temple priest, had names like Jason, and which was, a far cry from traditional Hebrew names, Jason and Menelaus. They were Jewish. They were not sadly Greeks, but they were, and I like Antiochus though had the things of getting displeased with his cronies, like Jason, what was executed before failing because the Maccabees was causing problems. So like the sheriff of Nottingham, he dumped Jason in a boiling vat of gold to make him, that was the end of Jason, high priest. And Menelaus was like, took over and was his puppet after that. The high priests were then sort of religious leaders, sort of theocratic, leaders who took the place of the kings. There was no king for a while. It was high priests and like and governors of these places. So the Seleucids were a little more tactful than the Persians, who held their empires through tolerance and self rule of the satraps, or provinces. And although they had an army and an organized system, the Achaemenids were better and less oppressive way than the Seleucids. So the story of Hanukkah is starts when um a, a guy in a family of rabbis near Modin, led by Messias or Matizyahu and his sons Judah and his five sons are approached by um a Greek important Greek noble, like general, says, "You will, I make you a wealthy man, an important man, if you sacrifice to this goddess." I think it was Artemis. And Mattathias thought, "I'm going to kill you," and killed him. And the his sons like jump all over him and the other soldiers. Sort of like a Godfather scene. And so then Mattathias and his sons figured, okay, you know, Rabbi Mattathias then thought, let's start a rebellion against, and they all swore, to like a phrase or something, like they would, I don't really remember the exact phrase, freedom for Judea or something. And, or the, and they start a revolt, and like a popular revolt, and the revolt take off, and and it's into the 5 years. Mattathias dies, and the leadership of the revolt passed to Judah the Maccabee, or Judah the Hammer, or Judah the Hammerkai, or Judah the Hammer. And so Judah va Hammerkai, or Judah the Hammer, and his brothers Jonathan, John, Eliezer, and Simon, start for real the Maccabee revolt. And then it is a 12-year revolt, which the famous battles at Elasa, Ben Zechariah, and was and after a while, somewhere along the line, the Seleucids were driven out, and Judah he would ambush the Seleucid armies, like guerrilla style warfare, and the they would just jump on it, even though he never fight in open fields. He just would ambush these things. He would wipe out these armies with the important armies, like important generals, like a guy named Sauron was just, and his guy armies were destroyed. Yeah, it is a real guy. So so a guy named like, and then Judah's big Maximin, big huge achievement was this, the liberation of Judea, and the retaking of Jerusalem and the temple. And for and on the 24th of Kislev, which is Wednesday today by the Julian Claudian calendar, the modern calendar, and the 14th of Kislev, 24th of Kislev, the Judah relight the Hanukkah menorah, and um and then we didn't have somebody comment we don't have enough oil, and like what's the okay, we'll be able to do this, but just enough oil for to relight the menorah. The menorah, when people say, oh, how's it going to last, the oil lasts for 8 days, and for 8 days we have this celebration of Hanukkah, and and that's the miraculous of the night, and it was well recorded by Josephus and the contemporary Greeks of the account. So this was documented, and how Josephus gets his sources were their Greek sources, and there were not only sources by the Hasmoneans, who were the descendants of Judah, but but other things, like other accounts. So this is a historical holiday, and Judah would fight a few more battles. His Waterloo was Amasa, where Judah and his brother Eleazar was finally killed. I think Judah met his end somehow, and Eleazar was, trampled upon by a war elephant. I guess for the guerrilla fighter Maccabees, they learned a lesson. Don't fight an open field. It's almost like the Revolutionary War. Often the rebels in the early part of the war did do guerrilla tactics, because they fight in the field, the mighty British army would just cut them down. And the same thing with due to the Maccabee. He just ambushed, caused terror, and he wins. And as a freedom fighter is better than a man who is dumb. So Judah the Maccabee gets an A, as a freedom fighter, and is a hero of Judaism. And Judah the Maccabee succeed, and although for a time after it's like there's the Maccabees are go down, and there is like take a parachute basically from the Seleucids after, because Antiochus died on horseback, and fighting a revolt in Mesopotamia, and there are a few, and the guy who gave him Maccabees a parachute was basically a guy named Demetrius, who was the man who succeeded him. And although the Maccabees did come back, as they're to fight in this Seleucid civil war, as Jonathan and Simon as strategos, they were generals, and And that's because of their serving to the men who would be the king Antiochus Pallas's person, who was basically a very successful false feuder. Um, like basically, and basically, like the Maccabees, were Jonathan. I think after Jonathan, was faded from the scene, Simon Simon was appointed ethnarch of Judah, which was a semi-independent state, and then he, so the Hasmonean kingdom start, and blah 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 blah. So the Maccabees stands for strength, a miracle, wonder, wonder, miracle, miracles. We liberated from, oppressive Greek tyranny. No, we enjoy, sorry, F you, Greece. Israel is ours. And, I guess, Jerusalem is ours. All you, yeah, F you. So, and we light the menorah, happy Hanukkah. And so it's, like 8 crazy nights. Cause do the Maccabee, fight, fight, fight. And so that's why this lady, yesterday Maccabee lady, oh my god, she's so tough. Check out check this out, I mean, not this, check this out, this bitch ripped. So, I mean, I could draw, this wee comic book, but you gotta make a girl strong, especially with the name Maccabee lady. You know, what am I gonna name her? Hummus? You know, I almost named her Hummus. Thorny Cactus, not a bad idea. I don't know, some other fucking company had it. F those fuckers. You know, Spider-Man, they only take it. Or Sexmen, I mean X-Men. Okay. I gotta say, I had a great first day. Uh, you know, and I enjoy my fun. So till the next comic book business news. Have a great 8 crazy nights. Ma. And goodbye and good luck.